Day 3. Thousands of players were waiting for the server to open up again. Once it finally did, I managed to log on quickly enough to secure a spot. The developer had upgraded a large portion of the server, giving it a much better performance, but it still had a little trouble handling the sheer amount of players. I was at the spawn of level 1 where I had logged off after giving screenshots to many players. Yesterday I thought about the situation I had been placed in. I thought about the role the prophet had given me. I thought about the convenience, if you could call it that I was online when the creator was constructing their fanbase bomb to detonate on the server. I thought about how me having two major factors to playing this game were incredibly unlikely, how it could have been anyone else online alongside the creator, or nobody at all. I thought about how tiny, insignificant events like those had such massive effects on the fanbase. I thought that if all of this happened again, I would not have as many responsibilities as I do now. Though whether or not that was for the best, I had yet to give thought to. Most of all, I thought about what the creator thought of me, or even if they still knew who I was. It was a glorious sight. The moment I logged on, I saw hundreds of messages welcoming new players to the server. Everyone was crammed at spawn, where I could not see them, but I knew it was happening to them. I soon had to micrify the size of my chat to see better. As if on cue, a mega crate had just spawned. The only players that could claim it were myself and the small fraction of the fanbase that were lucky enough to secure a spot on the server seconds after the explosion. This was the first time I'd ever shown my ruthless side to the mass of players. Before the explosion, I loved to find and destroy bases of other upper-class players, to the slight dismay of my teammate. Now I saw why. I was indirectly encouraging the blend of all players into a single, very poor class of wealth. I ran for the mega crate. The fanbase tried to reach it first, but they were no match for my incredible, now nearly unobtainable, gear. The crate seemed to be much more fruitful than usual. There up the crate, it came to me for the first time that mega crates would likely have to be reworked, or else they would soon be unobtainable. I, alongside all the other upper class, would have to wait for the developer's word on this. During this time, the player mass had made their way into level 0. I could only imagine what was happening there, and I did not want to find out. A few of them were lucky enough to make it out of the mass and progress far enough to get to level 1. The rest of them, as was evident in the chat, were all killing each other, over and over again, having nobody to stop them from eating themselves. The server soon hit the player capacity limit once more. At this moment, a thought came to me for the first time. It was unclear whether I alone could survive this apocalypse, unless the developer repeatedly reset the server, allowing me to continuously claim seats online. I had virtually no way of consistently staying active on the server. A few hours later, I was still online. By this point, the mass had largely made it to level 1 and beyond. It gave me a chance to see all the records that had happened on level 0. Fortunately, due to the mass knowing my name, I was easily able to convince them to tell me where they had all spawned in. The naturally generated world close to the spawn was gone. Almost no trace of what it looked like pre-explosion. Instead, the mass placed many random blocks around the area out of habit. Other than those old blocks, the entire area of about 10,000 square blocks or so was evaporated. Once again, later that night, the developer made the decision to temporarily close the server.